Hello everyone. Today's subject for tech exploration is this lovely Tandy 2500 here. This is the second system from the latest e-waste haul to be gone through, so let's get to going through it. The Tandy 2500 RSX to be exact, with hard drive. As it so proudly proclaims, it's actually in fantastic condition. I'm very glad we get to keep this custom drive blank here. That is very Tandy specific to this case. So 5¼ inch expansion bay down here, and two 3.5 inch expansion bays with a very original 1.44 megabyte floppy drive. And we've got our power button here, and a quite large reset button. It's actually larger than the power button. Isn't that funny? And here's what we have in the back. See, that sound card looks like it might be interesting, so that'd be fun. Everything else is all on board. I love these little icons they have for keyboard and mouse. They're so cartoony. And this volume control here is actually for the PC speaker. It's a little loose, but I think it might work. On the previous Tandy 2500, that was broken. This one feels considerably less broken. But let's get this thing open. Now, there are just two screws, one on each side. Once removed, this slides forward, revealing excessive amounts of shielding. And I see we've had a little bit of water intrusion here. Hopefully I didn't get too deep. However, as promised, we do have a hard drive. That looks like one of those Connor drives, and those don't have the best track record of working on this channel, so hopefully it's good. But disassembly continues with the removal of these two screws. And then this flips away. Ooh, that is an interesting sound card. A Sound Blaster CT1350B. I think that was one of the last of the 8-bit Sound Blasters, if not the last. Looks like it's from 1991. That is very nice. Yeah, Tandy's always prioritized sound quality, as witnessed by the massive PC speaker, way bigger than any PC speaker deserves to be. These machines also have some pretty amazing serviceability. Check this out. The entire thing just flips up. That gives us complete access to the motherboard. Let's get these cables out of here. Ooh, those are tight. Those haven't been removed in a very long time. And this is power LED. And we got PC speaker here. And a reset button under here. I guess we should go ahead and take that Sound Blaster out. And here's a better look at that. See, this is not a plug-and-play card. And here's the back. See, that sticker is just barely hanging on. And it appears we have a problematic screw. What's going on there? Doesn't seem loose, like cross-threaded or something. Oh yeah, that is very cross-threaded. What's going on here? Well, they're not damaged. Well, I'll try messing with that when the board is out. And that riser bracket's a little cuculated. That's supposed to pile it in here. Well, let's get it out. And that's held in with two screws, one in the front and one back here. And I see we lost a little plastic clip. Guess this thing took a little shock, and that came from back here, where this little thing grabs on. That's fine, should be easy to fix. Let's finish getting the motherboard out. And in addition to these screws, looks like I'm gonna have to also remove the port standoffs. And that's accomplished by a 5mm hex. It's just to monitor serial and parallel ports. And we are loose. And there it is. Looks like we have an AMD 386, clocked at 25 megahertz. We are unfortunately missing the math coprocessor, but at least the option's there. And something odd going on with the RAM here. They didn't bother to clip them into place. And the clips don't appear broken. Let's see. Yeah, they're fine. So I guess somebody just left it like that. You know, they could work like that, just probably not very reliably. And it looks like we have 1 megabyte on board, if I'm reading those correctly. Let's see what we have. These two sticks look identical. Man, that's stuck in there. Okay, that looks like a 1 megabyte stick also. Non-parity. Clean the edge connector a little bit. But I don't know. That gold is still plenty shiny. Let's see the next one. Since I locked it down, these are the plastic clips. They like to break. Fortunately, that didn't. And yeah, identical stick. So 3 megabytes of RAM in here? If I'm reading these correctly. I don't know, could be. Okay, now let's test our battery luck. Oh, actually, I might have some life in it. See if I can get a good connection. Yeah, over 1 volt. That might be enough to keep the settings. I don't know. Oh, 1.3 with a good connection. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that in there for right now, on the off chance that it stored the hard drive parameters and everything still. It'd be interesting to see how much clock drift we have. Because, just by reading the dust, that looks like a pretty old battery. A Toshiba CR2032, made in Japan. They clearly knew what they were doing. Okay, let's knock this dust off. And it's cold and low humidity, so anti-static brush it is. And here's a look at our video hardware. I think that's Acumos. Never sure how to pronounce that. Acumos AVGA2 340-01. I think that's very similar, if not the same, as some Cirrus Logic chips. It looks like we have 512K onboard video RAM. That is expandable. Should be good enough to do the job. And I always like looking at the underside of these boards. I don't know, they're just pretty, with all the neatly arranged SMD components and, surprisingly, a lot of 90-degree traces. Yeah, I guess the signal frequencies are high enough to tolerate that on here, because I always thought PCB designers usually avoided hard angles like that to reduce signal reflectivity. I don't know. I'm just an armchair PCB enthusiast. And see, that board is from 1992, made in the USA, surprisingly. Okay, let's give everything a quick shot of deoxit, namely RAM and ISO slots, and also this volume potentiometer here. So who knows what's going on in there. Now let's reinstall this RAM properly. So glad those didn't break. Okay, let's move on to drive extraction. First I'll finish getting these cables out. And the only tricky part here is this hard drive screw. You got to go through this hole, but you have to disturb this little drive paper thing that they have here. So you can just shove it to the side. And that is one tough screw. There we go. And not magnetic. And then there's this one back here, which is kind of tricky. You gotta go at kind of an angle. And the other two are easy enough. And then it should slide. And that floppy drive is supposed to have a screw there, but I guess somebody's had it out before. But that's fine. Doesn't really need it. But I do need a smaller screwdriver. These fine pitch screws are awfully tight. Now I gotta lay it down. And the last one hides behind this little thing longer for the power switch. And the hard drive is a Connors CP300-64H. That should be 60 megabytes. And if this drive works, it'll be a channel first because I have yet to see a Connor work in the modern age. I used to play with them back in the day, and they worked, you know, in the 90s, but they didn't seem particularly troublesome, at least to me. Let's just wipe that dust off. And here's a shot of the logic board. See, we're old enough to have a dedicated header for the hard drive LED right there. Yep, that's how it was back in the day. And the floppy drive is made by Sony, MFD17W-00. Oddly enough, the model number is on the side here. And here is a look at the underside. Oh, it's also under there too. I wonder why those are slightly different. 17W-09 versus that. That's odd. Is it a Franken drive? Somebody been swapping parts? Well, let's get it open and do a quick service. I think this is just a tab operation. And it's dusty. Oh, it's got that little damper there for the silky smooth operation. That's a high quality drive. Though it's interesting the way it's parked. Usually it's parked at track 0. I get the feeling somebody dropped this computer. But it was rescued from e-waste, so anything's possible. Let's get that dust out of there. Actually, this face should come off. These Q-tips work great as dust grabbers, especially when they start to flare out like this. And while that head's in the wrong position, I'll take the opportunity to clean the old grease off the lead screw. That is very old grease, look at that, it's nasty. This is gonna take a little bit of scrubbing. Yeah, we gotta go harder on this one. Just gonna slip a dry paper towel into here to catch the nasty. And scrub-a-dub-dub with IPA to get into those threads. Bet this thing has a lot of miles on it. All right, that should do it. Get that out of there. Now I can park it. That's not sliding correctly. Something broken in there? I think something might be broken in there. Should be making stronger contact. Well, that might not be good. Okay, there it goes. Oh, we'll have to see. Probably fine, but usually they don't skip so easily. Now we'll hit the heads with IPA. Looking good. And I guess I'll clean this grease off too and replace it. And finally, in with the grease. And we'll do a disconnect check. Yeah, silky smooth damper operation. And we'll do some final cleanup of some hard to reach areas. Okay, now we gotta get into that power supply. We gotta really scrutinize it because can't be risking these precious components. Let's just dislodge the power switch thing longer. It also has the LED run up to it. And then we got this screw up here. And these 3 over here. And then we just send it out that way. And you gotta be careful with these because there is no top plate. And take heed of these mighty multilingual warnings. Power supplies are dangerous to work on, mind. So make sure you look into basic safety because you're gonna need it. Even if it's been unplugged for a while. Those capacitors can still bite. And yeah, we're not looking great in here. This brown celastic can sometimes become conductive. And you know, straight conductance isn't a great thing, especially in high voltage circuits. Though it's not a great thing in any circuit. So let's give that a probe and see if it has become conductive. And that's checked with an ohm meter. And in this case, I think we got lucky. What happens is it's hygroscopic, so it pulls in moisture from the atmosphere and then just collects and becomes a conductor. In this case, we're good, although that doesn't promise that it's going to remain good. Maybe this just hasn't seen enough humidity lately. Should probably clear it out. And there's some more over here. And that's good also, fortunately. Now, this can be quite a project to clean off. I've yet to find a chemical that can both dissolve the glue but not hurt other things. So it's usually down to mechanical scraping and desoldering components and whatnot. So at minimum, what I'll do is just find the points where it might cause a short, like between this resistor and the jumper, although they're probably connected anyway, but you get the idea. Find spots where it might cause a bridge and just break the connection, clean it off. This stuff doesn't usually get underneath the capacitors, especially if they're, flush to the board like this. So there's that. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and pull this board. That way I can see if there's anything creepy underneath. And while I'm grateful that this is removable, this connector sure is fierce. Actually, that switch has got to come off. Luckily, it has screws. Get out of the way. There we go. Simple as that. And we're looking good under here. Just a little bit of flux residue. But you know what? It's been there for 35 years. I don't think it's going to cause a problem now. Actually, this board's from 1988. Wonder if it's just the design or if they actually had a stockpile of these. But that sure looks like a date code there. 1992 maybe. Anyways, let's get to scraping. I'm going to avoid adding IPA just because I don't want to introduce any stray moisture. It's 91%, which means it's 9% water. And this stuff's coming off pretty easily on its own. Okay, now let's go through this fan. They have an interesting retention mechanism. It's just this one little spring thing and a bunch of double stick tape. Let's get the spring thing out of there. Then we gotta go carefully around the edge, break up that tape. Yeah, it's on the underside too. And there it is. A DC Pixie 25. That's a funny name. From Japan Servo Co. Although made in Singapore. Feels very robust. Bearing sounds okay. I can hear it, but I don't think it's too terrible. Let's go ahead and clean this dust off. Well, you know, it wasn't that bad. Didn't even need the paper towel. Well, let's see how it sounds. Ooh, that's not good. It doesn't sound. Let's see, blade's not seized up. What's going on here? Let's check. Huh. Are we dead? Okay, guess that's the end of the bench power supply. What a jerk. Guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way, with a big old Chungus power supply. Alright, that is one powerful fan. And it sounds pretty good. Bearing-wise, obviously those blades, the angle of attack, you can hear it, but for the amount of air it's moving, that's totally forgivable. Alright, good fan. Now let's refresh the double stick tape. And I figure I'll do something like this, and then trim it to fit. Yeah, something like that. And a little bit of rust around here is kind of odd. Guess this thing did see some moisture. Anyways, I clean those up as best I can. They should be all right. And of course, can't forget the spring of the thing. Okay, I guess after all that, we should see if it works, right? Ooh, exposed mains. Gotta be a little bit careful here. Alright, that sounds like working. And found the 12 volts on that motherboard connector. Let's find the 5. And that's the 5. So I wonder what white is. That's negative 12. Cool. Keep that on 12. And I'm going to take this little automotive light bulb, give it some extra current load. There we go. Okay, well, 12 volts handles it. How about 5 volts? Very good. Just going to leave that in 12 volts so I can get a good connection. Just let that cook 5 minutes or so. All right, that's 5 incident-free minutes. I'd say this thing is trustworthy enough. Now let's tie up some loose ends on the case, like getting rid of the many perished rubber bands. There's quite a few of them. And then I'm just gonna kind of sweep it out, because there's little rubber bits everywhere, or former rubber band bits. Now let's get this back plastic off and see if I can fix it, and also search for any more damage. Now let's try to sort this out. I'm going to hold it temporarily with super glue. That's all super glue is good for. Now I'm going to see if this UV curable resin is up to the task. Should be. It's usually pretty strong. And I decided to reinforce the other one too, why not? Now let's let these bask under the light. That seems to have done it. Now let's see what's going on with this motherboard screw. Those threads don't look damaged, so I'm just going to give a little bit of oil and work the screw. Because I imagine maybe it's just dirty. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's better. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we're back together. Time to see, are we going to get lucky with that Connor hard drive? Let's find out. It is posting. And I do hear the hard drive clicking, at least. And of course I got invalid configuration. Ooh. Okay, so I guess the voltage wasn't high enough to keep the settings on that battery. So let's run the setup utility. Ooh, the thing's loud. Okay, got all kinds of complaints. Let's at least set the date. Or at least, ooh, what the? Can't use arrow keys like that. I'll set the actual date then. Wait, they make you type the slashes? How do you like coming up to 2020? Oh no, wait, no, it's 2026-ish. Right, I forgot. Now I'm lost. There we go. You can't just arrow key over. Huh, that's annoying. Alright, so we're all good there. Now, the hard drive. That didn't even have parameters written on it. Let's see, how do I change the space? Alright, so I'm gonna have to guess, or Google the model number. Well, it does say auto, though I highly doubt that's gonna work. Let's just see. I know there's no way. Alright, save and exit setup, F2. Oh, it does boot! That's almost unbelievable that it supports auto detection. And even more unbelievable, that drive works. Quarter-deck expandable memory manager. Huh. Okay, well, we're booted. Though it is too bad that thing is so noisy. I hope that's not too annoying. It sounds like a bad power steering pump. Anyways, do I have Windows on here? Ooh, looks like it. Yes, indeed. Windows 3.1. This thing's definitely not winning any performance awards. Let's see, what do we got on here? Doesn't look like very much. Got the default games. Yeah. Default accessories. Microsoft Solution Series. Microsoft Works. Let's check that out. Valued OEM customer, so must have come with it. Okay, what is this? Okay, I don't even know what to make of this. Is this some kind of like retail store document? It's talking about displays and aisles. This mouse is really sensitive. I'm barely moving it. It's like all over the screen. Let's see. How far can we go before we expose personal information? Okay, now they're talking about bread. I'm even more confused. Now something about a lobby. Maybe this is a restaurant? / store? Huh. Now they're talking about dairy boxes. Okay, now this has got to be some kind of like convenience store operating guide or something. Let's see. Let's get to the end. And there's nothing. Okay, well, that was mildly interesting. So I'm surprised there's not more on Windows. Guess they were still heavy DOS users. Oh, it does have MIRC though. Wow. I haven't seen that in ages. And I can't find the Winsock DLL. And what is Realms? That's definitely, what, some kind of game? The working directory is invalid. Okay, fine. Well, not much else to see in Windows. They do have old WinZip, though. WinZip 5.0b. I don't know if that's something that Tandy included. Well, 1993. I don't know. Well, let's try WinZip for evaluation purposes only. Wow, this thing's old. Still had a CompuServe email address. The humble beginnings. I wonder if any of that is still valid. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, let's get into old file manager. Man, this mouse is touchy. Yeah, the little hard drive's doing it. Oh, they got a junk directory. What's in there? Oh, they consider MIRC junk. And TCP. Ah, they're using up to 1996 at least, so far. Let's see, ooh, dirty cheaters. This is for that Realms game. It's an executable. What happens if I run it? What the? Cheat Machine by A4 Software. Okay. What are we going to be cheating on? Oh, all kinds of stuff. What is this? And why does Adobe Premiere need cheats? This is fascinating. And this is for demonstration purposes only. Registration provides benefits. Well, let's press V to continue. Okay, I guess it just continues. There's a lot of programs in here. Even BioMenace. Oh, why would you need to cheat at BioMenace? Yes, we know there's a build-in cheat in this game, but we haven't found it yet. It's probably something with a no-wait parameter. Huh. So we made our own cheat, a patch. To use it, first uncompress the exe. It gives you unlimited green grenades, red grenades, bullets, keys, and health. Oh, okay. I swear I remember being able to do that in BioMenace without patching the executable. This is a very interesting program. So do all of these games have little custom notes like that? Man, they're really pushing that registration. Let's see. Let's look at Batman versus Penguin. Okay, well that's not very descriptive. About this, so I guess that's more of the same. I guess only a few of them have verbose descriptions. This one has one. And the Lord said, type Cowabunga on the title screen, and thou shalt become invulnerable. It's that easy, huh? I like how they changed what letter you have to press to continue every time this pops up. Huh, okay, so this is pretty fascinating. I wonder if this is archived somewhere. Let's see what they got to say about Doom. Obviously, the cheat codes that everybody has memorized. I didn't know about that one that shows coordinates in hex. That's interesting. Huh. I guess this predates Doom 2. What's the Doom Junkies cheat? Since everybody's talking Doom these days, we couldn't let ourselves get behind. Nice game, by the way. Huh. So if you're really addicted and haven't got enough with your previous cheat, here, more goodies. You get a demo movie showing how to get to a secret hidden level, instructions on how to use the infamous command line parameters, and how to build your own Doom virtual reality setup. Quick, press enter. How could I resist? Oh, so it wrote a zip file to disk for some reason. Okay. This machine's not even capable of running Doom. Or it probably is, but terribly. Okay, wow. This is crazy. Yeah, I gotta see if this is archived somewhere. If not, it needs to be. There is just so many games in here. Look at this. It just goes and goes and goes. Ooh, SimCity. What's it got for SimCity? SimCity 2000. That high-tech game choked on my beautiful mouse driver, so we patched it. So I guess it just fixes it? Oh, it gives you some extra money. As long as you play for at least 1 year. Interesting. Oh, you and your registration. How about for vanilla SimCity? Is your budget standing in the way of your ideas? Always. This patch gives you almost unlimited money to develop your city as you please. All saved cities receive over $2 billion. Huh. Man, this is just too interesting. So it keeps bugging about registration. Where's the patch for that? Let's see, let's keep going down the list. Anything pops out at me. What do they have for Windows Minesweeper? A secret cheat signal indicates whether a square is safe or mined. No way. Who hacks Minesweeper? To turn it on, press X, Y, Z, Z, Y, then press Enter, then Shift. The single pixel is hard to see unless you minimize every... Okay, now we gotta try this. Because somehow I didn't know about this. Cheat codes for Minesweeper. Let's go see. Oh, get out of here. What the? Wanna have as much fun as I'm having? All you have to do is register. This is wild. Registration motivating delay it has. Okay, let's go to Minesweeper. That was X, Y, Z, Z, Y, then enter, and then shift. Did I get that right? I don't see any pixels appearing. Let's see, let's click in. Yeah, I don't think that works. Unless there's very few mines. Yeah, definitely not. Huh, okay. Well, either I did that wrong or it was wrong. Well, that's too interesting. Gonna have to see if that's archived. Speaking of archived, what's in the archive? PKware. And WinZip. Okay, so I guess just a bunch of archiving tools. What's in download? Attach. Nothing. How about games? Oh, they got SimCity. It's got to be the original SimCity. Let's run that. And indeed it is. Let's see if they have any saved cities. Ooh, that green is that hurts. Let's pick Heresville. It does. Not much of a resolution. But he's got some industry, I see. Let's cause some disasters. How about a flood? A good old-fashioned flood. Okay, I don't see much flooding going on. I don't remember how to zoom out. Because I didn't play SimCity 1 very much. But clearly he used that cheat because he has over $2 billion. Let's cause some more disasters. I want an earthquake. These disasters are pretty anticlimactic. Let's do an air crash. What, are we paused? Can I at least bulldoze some trees? Yeah, there we go. Finally, stuff's happening. And I hear some sound. It's very low, though. There we go. Ooh, that's a lot of noise. Should de-ox that connector. Bulldozer make noise. Anyways, let's put some power lines. I guess everything makes that noise. That doesn't seem right. Okay, no, it is. Area must be bulldozed. Yeah, can't zone on top of power lines. Okay, well, SimCity is on here. Are you not exiting? Yes, I'm sure. All right, so what's gateway? Looks like a thing. Let's see, let's try go.bat. That seems motivated. Beyond software. And strategic simulations. Forgotten Realm. Oh, it's a Dungeons and Dragons game. Huh. I'm probably not going to get very far at all. Let's take a look. Let's see, do the demo. Okay. Alright, so I guess it's just D&D. What's up with the eyes that look like J's? Oh no, it's a squid monster. Okay, so I guess that's how you kill the squid monster. Alright, well, this looks exciting. How do I get out of demo mode? Can I get out of demo mode? Pushing all the usual buttons. We seem to be stuck. Oh, now it's mad. Filled up the keyboard buffer. Probably got to reboot. Or do that. Alright, try to close the application. Yeah, that worked. Alright, now, what is BG1? There's a start.exe. Seems like a reasonable place to start. Ooh, I think it doesn't like Windows. Whatever it is has EGA graphics, clearly. So I try running that from DOS. But what is Wing? Wing Commander. See if that runs. Looks like it's trying. Okay. I don't think we're getting far. Oh, there it goes. This guy's conducting something. This is very theatrical. Origin FX. Sound and graphic system. That was dazzling. Distant future, mankind is locked in a deadly war. Oh, this looks deadly. Wing Commander from 1990. Okay, how do we play? What is the max range of the mass driver cannon? How should I know? Let's go with 42. Ah, that's how they do copy protection? Those jerks. And kick me out. Oh well. Let's see, what was that QEMM thing about? It's clearly the folder for it. We'll see what the help file has to say. Not a valid Windows help file. Aw. No readmes or anything? Guess not. Oh wait, no, there it is. Read.me. I'm gonna have to associate it with Notepad manually. Oh, they're not gonna make it easy? Well, let's try write. Let's go. Oh, Notepad was right there. I'm a dumbass. Alright, let's see. Can write do it? I love the sound these speakers make. I wonder if that's coming through. Oh, no, I would not. Can you hear that? All the computational noise coming through the speakers. Alright, QAMM version 7.04. Okay, got stuff for Novell. What is the main purpose here? Oh no, here we go. Talking about double space. Oh, QEMM Stealth Double Space feature saves you 40K of memory. Think what you could do with that. So I wonder if they're using that on this drive. What else is here? I thought this was some kind of like virtual memory thing. Maybe there's multiple utilities in here? Still going on about Stealth Double Space. Blah, blah, blah. Configure disk cache for expanded memory. Okay. Compatibility issues. QEMM is compatible with most popular hardware and software. Compatibility problems are rare. I'm sure they are. Okay, so they've hid that info somewhere else. Okay, well, that's interesting. I think that's actually enabled on this drive. Let's go on down the DOS mode and see. What version of DOS is this anyway? 6.2. What do we got for space? Well, apparently started at DOS 5. Okay, well, no, that's showing the whole 60 megabytes. It's only 12 megs available. Still surprised that drive works at all. You know what? Let's do run scan disk on it. I wonder if all that buzzing is coming out of these speakers. Every little operation makes noise. Yeah, let's do safer scan. Oh, listen to that noise. I know that's coming through. So it's hard drive activity mostly triggering it. That's funny. I'm gonna turn that off. I know some people are easily annoyed. Oh my goodliness. Is that thing gonna turn up clean? Wow. We got unimaginably lucky. Not only do we have a working Conner, it's also perfect. Crazy luck. Let's see if we can get that lucky with the floppy drive. Maybe. And yes, indeed. Awesome. Let's actually scan disk that, just to give it a good workout. I haven't scan disked that disk in a while anyway. Yeah, let's do a surface scan. Give it a full sweep. And we've won there too. Man, fully working system. That's amazing. Now what was that game that wouldn't run? Was that BG_1 thing? Runs in DOS. I don't remember what the executable name was. Start. Okay, there we go. Black gold. Uh-oh. There we go. So many games did this crap back in the day. Let's see. Refer to your code card and enter the coordinates. Ugh. Yeah, we don't have that. Let's just enter some random crap. That's what early DRM looked like. Alright, well, I guess there's not much else to see here. Let me go ahead and replace that CMOS battery. This is a noisy little thing. One lonely volt just ain't enough. Ooh, what is that? This thing leaked. Though at least not terribly corrosively. I didn't think these things could leak. A lithium battery. Okay, I guess I'm cleaning that up. But it doesn't seem to have actually corroded anything. These terminals look brand new. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, now this thing doesn't need very much cleanup. There's just a few little scuffs here and there. It does have the usual e-waste rash scratches here and there, but ain't the worst. Do you got one little stubborn spot here. Magic eraser makes short work of it. The worst of it's on the top. And even this, honestly, isn't very bad at all. Though a lot of these spots are going to need some magic erasing. We're using that in combination with Windex. And I guess that's going to do it. The rest are indeed scratches. Man, what a survivor this thing is. It's pretty amazing considering its e-wasty past. I sure am glad it gets to live on. Oh, and as for that cheat machine software, I did find a copy on the archive, but it's version 1.83. So quite a bit older than the copy I found on here. So since it's shareware, I guess I might as well throw it up there. And of course, huge thanks to all the patrons and channel supporters. Their support is the only reason I'm able to continue doing these things. And who knows, maybe I'll get to full-time status one day. So huge thanks to them, and thank you for watching.